let's stand and sing. It's a new year, a first of a new month. That already says to me that everything is magic in 2023. Everything new, otherwise known as Bring It On. Yeah? Bring it on. Everything new, everything different, everything true. I am ready for my next thing to do. Oh, I know it's gonna be everything new. I'm through crying, I'm through waiting, I'm through hoping against all hope. I'm through longing for something gone that'll never return. I think I finally learned to bring it on. Everything new, everything different, everything true. I am ready for my next thing to do. Oh, I know it's gonna be everything new. I'm through grieving, I'm through dreaming that the life I had is never coming back. All right, no more wishing on someone else's star, amen. That'll never be mine. And I think it's time to bring it on. Everything new, everything different, everything true. I am ready for my next thing to do. Oh, I know it's gonna be everything new. I've survived many times before, broken hearts and slamming doors. Yes, I'll be all right. Yes, I will. Once more. Yes. Right, raise your hand. Come on now. Yes. Just as it did back then, I'm gonna rise again to bring it on. Everything new. Susan, all right. Everything different, everything true. I am ready for my next thing to do. Oh, I know it's gonna be everything new. Oh, I know it's gonna be everything new. Yes, it is.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So many happy faces, and we're celebrating today the new year, right?
Yes.
Speaking of celebrations, after we're through with the service, we're going to have a treat. It's not sparkling cider, but it's alcohol-free brut. So as you come by for your goodies after the service, we'll toast each other and one another and just enjoy our time together afterwards. And thank you to Reverend Donna and John for bringing our treat. And now, my name is Susan Clutis, and I am your trustee today. On behalf of Reverend Donna and the Board of Trustees, I'm privileged to welcome you here to the Sonoran Desert Center for Spiritual Living. Whoever you are and wherever you are on your spiritual journey, you are truly welcome here. Here you will be validated, supported, and encouraged to be all that you're meant to be. Our vision statement is love in action every day in every way. We express this love by learning and living the principles of the science of mind. You'll find our declaration of principles on the back of your program. Please join me now in reading them. I believe there is an intelligence operating throughout the universe. I believe this intelligent power is only good. I believe this intelligence expresses as me. I believe through my conscious use of this power, I create my life as happy, healthy, and complete. And so it is. I know we have one first-timer here, and her name is Monty. She's visiting us here from Tubac, and I hope she'll come back. And we have two other people, but I don't know if they want to be introduced. Would you introduce, please?
Sure. I'm Lucia, and this is my husband Sal, and we're visiting from Homestead, Florida.
Thank you. Anybody else? Well, thank you for being here. I'd like to thank all the people that make this Sunday celebration possible. And you know, it's all these people here because without you, we wouldn't be having a celebration together. So, and what better way to start the year than being together? Please direct your attention to the announcements that are on your bulletin. And you can find them if you're looking online at cslaz.org and our events calendar.
So today is the first day that those of us who choose to, are using our Living Out Loud journal. And the theme of the month and the theme of the week will be followed by Donna's talks. So it's really cool. We get to make notes, reflections, gratitude, and personal goals. Right now, there aren't any left over there, but next week there will be 3 new ones. Can you get them? I looked, but okay. So we do have some more. $15, and all the money goes to support the Practitioner Retreat Fund. If you bought one already and you forgot it, you'd be welcome to go over there right now and grab a new one and use it and bring yours in next week.
Thank you, Melinda. Okay, now if you would be so kind as to turn off your electronic devices.
If you are joining us here for the first time, the words to our Namaste song are inside the first page of your bulletin, right underneath where it says bells and music. The God in me beholds the God in you. It is all for our greatest and highest good. The God in me beholds the God in you, and you and I are one. Namaste. The God in me beholds the God in you. It is all for our greatest and highest good. The God in me beholds the God in you, and you and I are one. Namaste. Namaste.
Good morning. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Bring it on. I'm John Lopez, one of the practitioners here at our CSL Center, and I'd like to welcome you this morning on the very first day of 2023. I'm bringing in the bling. May it be a blingful year. So join me in our service invocation. Let's know together that on this first day of this new year, that God is all there is. There is only one mind, one consciousness, oneness expressing in, through, and as each one of us, right here, right now, everywhere present, filling all space. And so this consciousness, this God, fills the sanctuary and expresses beautifully and perfectly through each and every one of us here. And I know, declare, and affirm that today's service is already perfect, whole, and complete as it expresses and unfolds through the amazing music done by Heather O'Day, by the words of wisdom as spoken by Reverend Donna, and by all of us volunteers, practitioners, and behind the scenes folks who make this service possible. I'm so grateful for this truth, and I release it by saying, and so it is. So I light our service candle. Knowing that it represents the light of spirit that shines in, through, and as each one of us. And today's reading is actually from the daily guides of our new Science of Mind magazine this month. And I decided that these two from today and January 2nd tomorrow I thought were perfect. So I'm going to combine the two. The first one for today is called Live the Life of Your Ideal Person. And the guides this month are written by Reverend Dr. Marilyn Louise Leo. Raymond Charles Barker, in The Power of Decision, gives us this affirmation. Creation is continuous. We exist in a continuum of creative process. And Ernest Holmes writes, in actual practice, we must claim our divine company, that the business of life is good, active, happy, whole. And that's from Your Spiritual Power. Today is new. Another year begins. Opportunities stand in front of us, waiting to be seen. Creation waits to be acknowledged and used. How are we going to use this opportunity? Of course, this is not the only time to make new creations or different decisions, for we can do that at any moment in our life. But why not make this moment for change? It is time for choice. Roger Teal, in his book, This Life is Joy, writes, "You are so much more than a material, time-space organism. You are the I Am, a being of light, born from, living within, and giving expression to universal love intelligence." And in his Sermon by the Sea, Ernest Holmes wrote or spoke, "It is in our own heart, our own mind, our own consciousness, our own being, where we live 24 hours a day, awake or asleep, that eternal share of the infinite comes to us because every person is some part of the essence of God, not as a fragment, but as totality." So whether this is a new year or a new day, it can be a new beginning if we choose it to be. Today, we have the opportunity to review our present life and change whatever we believe is not working for a greater experience of joy. Right now, this very moment is as good as any, so why not make the most of it? Take a few quiet moments to dwell on what your life will be like with your dreams fulfilled. Will you have more vitality? Live in a different city or state? Or have more or fewer responsibilities? This is not running away from anything or mere daydreaming. This is setting a new intention for life. Contemplate what you would like your life to be. Investigate all areas of your health and well-being, your relationships, and your financial circumstances. Remember not to dwell on what things look like today, only on what you want them to be tomorrow, next month, or next year. Look at the light at the end of the road. Your path will be lit and made known to you. You will be surprised at the opportunities coming your way. Look at each one and give thanks for infinite guidance. Make wise choices and move forward. Above all, give thanks for what you have today and all the goodness awaiting your recognition. Thank you. Namaste. So I take our candle and I'll be sitting over at the side table, at the practitioner table, holding the high watch for you. And if you have anything going on that you'd like to start out this New Year's to resolve or transform, please come over to the table, fill out a card, and we will treat for you during the week. And we will also, anyone wearing a stole today, we will also be available to do minute miracles for you. All right, thank you.
You know, speaking of the prayer table, I was looking over there at all the treatment cards and the prayer requests, and there are a bunch of these little golf pencils over there, and we did early New Year's because we found out last minute that my brother, who moved to Tennessee last year, he came home for Christmas, which was wonderful, and we did all the presents and stuff on Christmas Day last week, and then he comes to find out that he booked his ticket for a day early. Whoops. So we had to do early New Year's on Friday night instead of Saturday. So I went up there, and you know, we all give each other board games and weird musical instruments for Christmas. So brother opens one of his board games, and it has all these little golf pencils, and they're ultra wicked sharp because they're brand new. But then there was this one little dull one. I was going to use it, but it was pointless. I've earned the right. Speaking of, all right, speaking of 2022, you all know 2022, like I feel like I held the drama stick for all of us last year. Everything from losses in our family, transitions in our family, to most recently a house fire. Oh yeah, we got it all, and everything in between. But you know what? I'm so excited this year because it's a brand new start, fresh start, everything. But I also woke up this morning, and throughout all of those amazing blessings, all of the good things that happened last year, I'm focusing on that. And in 2023, I lost the right to sing the blues. Mm-hmm. Woke up this morning, something wasn't right. My poor head was a-throbbing 'cause I tossed and turned all night. This unfamiliar feeling shook me up inside. The truth it was revealing that a part of me had died. I called my higher self. She gave me the bad news. She said, your life is just too good. You lost the right to sing the blues. Come on now. That broken down old Chevy that was eating me alive. I visualized a Lexus, and now it's sitting in my drive. Yeah, that man of mine, that scoundrel, that rotten low-down bum, I transformed him into a love god with a sizable trust fund. Everywhere I looked, I was confronted with the clues. My life was just so good, I lost the right to sing the blues. Yeah. You can sing the blues if you can't pay the rent. You can sing the blues if all your money has been spent. How can I sing the blues? I ain't got no excuse when I'm driving in my Porsche all the way to my masseuse. Yeah, you won't find me wailing late at night in a smoky bar. You won't see me crying tears into this old guitar. I'm too busy cleaning my chakras, chasing bad karma away. I'm fluffing up my aura. Well, baby, that could take all day. Now that I'm enlightened, gotta spread the news. blues. When life gets this darn good, you lost the right to sing the blues. Let's go now. You know, solos don't work unless I got a full band. You can sing the blues when your best friend puts you down. You can sing the blues if your man has done left town. What gives me the right to bay that mournful tune when I'm steaming with my honey in a sauna in Cancun? So now you heard my story. You understand the pain of searching and not finding any reason to complain. My stars are in alignment. House is feng shui. I'm filled with peace and harmony. Yeah, my bills have all been paid, honey. Let go of the struggle. You know I paid my dues. When life gets this darn good, you lost the right. You lost the right to sing. Well, you know I lost that right. Say it one more time, I lost the right. Woo! Somebody give me a hallelujah. I lost the right. I lost the right to sing the blues. Yeah, 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 yeah. Woo, thank you, Karen Drucker, for that one.
Yeah, we can. We can.
Yeah.
This is great. Thank you. And I told one of our newcomers that we're kind of weird. so she was expecting it. Good morning. Good morning. Happy New Year. And yeah, 2023. There are some things I want to say goodbye to in 2022, but I also know just how very blessed each and every one of us are. No matter what the circumstances, we can find that place of love in our heart and of gratitude for our life and the quirky things that are in it. We were so busy during the Christmas season that John and I waited to share the talk till today. He usually does this every Easter and Christmas, as it gives those of you who don't know him too well a chance to see how wonderful he is. He's just really the wind beneath my wings in so many ways. So as Melinda said, we're following the themes and topics in our 2023 journals. So be sure and get one. There's more out now. Wanda put some out. And the Science of Mind magazine is also following these themes and topics, so you might want to pick up the magazine as well. So the whole gist of this year is that every single Science of Mind church will be following along with the magazine, with the journals, and with the topics and themes. So it's kind of like you can walk into any Science of Mind church and find the same topic over and over, hopefully. So we are doing that this year. Today's topic is God is a concept. And when we say that God is a concept, we simply mean that God is to us what we have in our head about God. The word dog is a concept, and it has some attributes. We know that a dog has 4 legs, a tail, fur, and barks. We know that. Those are the attributes of dog. But dog is the concept. And we might think of our own dog. We might think of a little Pekingese or a Great Dane. All of those are various aspects of the one concept of dog. We have our own concept of God. And I think one of the hardest things for students new to science of mind is to give up a rather anthropomorphic concept of God. In other words, God as an entity in heaven that looks a lot like us, only more powerful. You know, that's what I grew up as a kid. You know, now I lay me down to sleep. You know, so it can be difficult to shift from the concept of an anthropomorphic God to a loving power and presence that is everywhere, that is everything, including you and me. And we struggle with losing that personal touch, that we are talking to a person when we pray, or that someone is listening to us. One student asked, if God is a power and presence, who am I going to talk to? There's no form. You know, there's no form. And yet when we can make that shift, the power and presence that at first feels so remote becomes closer to us than our own hands and feet. Yeah, I remember another student coming into class, and she had a great big smile, and she said, I pulled the arms and legs off of God this week. Sounds terrible, but what she was simply saying is that she had replaced her concept of an anthropomorphic God for a concept of God as an infinite intelligence flowing through and as everything. Our founder, Dr. Ernest Holmes, asked us, if you have on the one hand an infinite principle which could make everything, which is a law which we have and can prove everything right here, and on the other hand, our own God-given power to use it, why do we not draw forth more? It's merely because we do not provide a greater concept. You hold an object in front of a mirror, and it will image in the mirror the exact size of the object. You hold a thought in mind, and it will image back into matter the exact likeness of the thought. If you take this image that you hold in front of the mirror and change it ever so slightly, there will be a change in the mirror. And it's just the same in that mental realm. So our job is to keep working with this concept of God as infinite power and presence until our belief becomes stronger and our faith in it and in ourselves to use this power strengthens. And we'll never retire from this job. Once we start on this trip, we'll never retire because there's never a time when we arrive. You know? It's an evolutionary process, and we are ever evolving as our concept of God deepens. You know, the emphasis of science of mind, perhaps unlike other religions, is on the practical application of our understanding. Holmes emphasized practice. He said, we are a teaching order, not a preaching order. We are a practicing order, not a proselytizing order. In other words, we are here for people who are looking for a positive, practical approach to spirituality. We offer to those who make the effort a fresh approach to life, to experiences, and to each other. And we are not here to preach or to try to convince someone that ours is the only right way. Ernest Holmes says we are teaching and practicing order in the Christian faith who believe in two great fundamental realities: the divine presence, personal to every living soul and uniquely personal to each and every one of us. That's the first great cornerstone. The next is a power for good and the law of good in the universe greater than we are that we can use for definite and specific purposes. So it's in the silence of our own hearts, really, that we touch our oneness with our own divinity. It's there that we sense the divinity in everything, all things, in all people. And through our use of this conscious power within us, we express that divinity through our thoughts, our words, and our actions. So every thought we think is linked with the mind of God. What we think, we experience. So we learn to consciously attune our thoughts to that which is true, that which is beautiful, that which is the perfect expression of our oneness. And that's how we create. We begin to create that new concept of God. And the more we practice and the more we do this, the more amazing things come into our life. This month's theme for the whole month is root and reboot, and to me that's my new mantra. Because when we seem to be at odds with the world, when we feel confused, overwhelmed, or out of sorts for any reason, root and reboot is very good advice. To me, root tells me to stop, to go to the root of my source, to open myself to my concept of God and the faith I have and the power that is mine to use. And then when I've taken time to do that, then I can look at circumstances with brand new eyes. And then reboot. What does that look like? Maybe it means to stop what I'm doing and just take a coffee break or walk around the block. Maybe it means to find the humor or blessing in the situation. Maybe it's time to take out my journal and write down some things for which I'm grateful. Maybe it's simply just time to take a nap so that I can wake up refreshed. Last week, my printer stopped printing. I tried everything. I went to online troubleshooting, nothing. I read the manual, nothing. I punched a whole bunch of buttons, nothing. Finally, I just shut the darn thing off. When I turned it on a minute or two later, it worked absolutely fine. So maybe we should take a lesson from my printer. Shut down, reboot. Anyway, root, shut down, reboot. so all this month we're going to be studying the principles of this philosophy. We've heard us say before that this whole discovery is an 18-inch trip between the head and the heart. And for me, it's so worth it. I grew up Presbyterian. I left all religion and spiritual exploration for a while and finally ended up at Founders Church on a Wednesday night. And my experience was like what I've heard from many of you. I felt like I was home. And I don't mind that this trip takes a lifetime. What better way to live than every day see a bit more progress, a bit more understanding, a bit more excitement about the world around me. And I have tools to boot and reboot when I sometimes lose that balance. This is a brand new year. Let's live it in love and joy, and let's claim our power as expressions of the one power. And let's know together that with God all things are possible. And now here's John.
Here's Johnny.
Here's Johnny.
Oh, don't get too excited. Well, good morning. Good morning. And Happy New Year. Well, as Donna said, today's topic is listed in your 2023 journal and will help you be guided through the various topics and also have the opportunity to make some of your own. The topic today is, this Sunday, is God as a concept, as she said. Ernest Holmes wrote about the concept of God in An Anatomy of Healing Prayer. Our whole practice, he says, is based on the concept that God is where we are and what we are, and that there isn't anything else. Our whole concept is partially based on the theory that whatever appears to be wrong, this is a good one, is not wrong in itself, but is the wrong arrangement of what is right. Good thought. When I first began studying the words of home, I found a whole new vocabulary with powerful words like embodiment, consciousness, and referencing a perfect world. I was really unable to understand at that time. I still lived and believed in a dualistic world. As I look forward to 2023, I can look back and I remember how difficult the concept of God was for me. And when that special moment came, when all of this came together. But that's another story that I will tell you about later on. 73 years ago, I attended my first religious science Sunday school. That was the year of 1949, believe it or not, in the Church of Religious Science in Riverside, California. One can imagine what kind of view of God would come out of a 10-year-old. I was helped by my mother's views in that she'd share putting them in a language a 10-year-old could understand. Her view saw God was an immanent presence, a loving God, a God not to be feared, but to be loved. In 1956, when my family moved to San Diego, I became a member in the Church of Religious Science in San Diego. That same year, my mother completed her practitioner studies and became a religious science practitioner. Celebrating this important time in her spiritual life, my mother presented me my first Science of Mind textbook that I still have today. I immediately set to read from this text, but discovered that so many of the words were new to my high school vocabulary. However, in earnest, I underlined what I thought was important, and at the end, most of the sentences throughout the text were underlined. I would call this first reading an academic approach that would continue throughout my college studies and for many years thereafter. Any further progress in my spiritual life was put on hold with marriage, children, business career. I would tell myself that I did not have time to do more than marriage, children, and business career. I would go to church, not too often, but I did continue to pray more often. Thank goodness for the frequent praying, for my life was a series of ups and downs. 2 marriages, many different jobs with multiple moves from the West Coast to the East Coast and back again and again. My mother died when I was 40, and with her transition, I lost a lot of my support. My wife at the time was not interested in attending religious science churches. Her view of God followed a more traditional Jewish theology. In my 50s, I lost a daughter to drug addiction. Even with all of my praying, nothing seemed to be going right. My mother had been active in what was the Religious Science Institute, where Ernest Holmes held classes particularly for practitioners. Next door was Founders Church, where William Hornaday was the minister. My mother never attended Founders, so I would be the first and only member in my family to attend Founders. I enjoyed listening to Dr. Hornaday, but was a little confused by how much he appeared to look on religious science as a liberal Christian community. Many Christians were attracted to Founders as they held traditional Easter and Christmas services with all the pageantry found in your local Christian church. But it was a big church with lots of energy, and some said that the deep, booming voice of Dr. Hornaday sounded like the voice of God. After many years attending religious science churches, I began to realize that my concept of God was very different than that of Holmes. I continued to hold a dualistic view of life, where Holmes had written, "There is no dualism in the universe. There is no God and something else. There is no such thing as good or evil. There is only what is, which automatically and mechanically reports from itself to us the way we look at it. There is no you, no me. There is only we as a part of the one God. God can only work through us, through our own consciousness, and no other way." I began to embody the words that had been part of my academic approach. Although Science of Mind is big on the mind and on how thoughts become things, what about the heart? As Donna said, it is a big move from our head to the heart. When I returned to Founders in 1995, I was enchanted with the words of a new minister, Reverend Dr. Arthur Chang. Through him and Dr. Hornaday, I found both head and heart, and I never looked back. I know it is through the heart where I actually experience God's love, and God's gift of this love transcends all other experiences. And I take this with me into the new year. Thank you for allowing me the time to share. Donna and I wish you a very happy, healthy, prosperous new year. Thank you.
And of course, today's congregational song, what else is it gonna be but Auld Lang Syne? And I taught you, what was it, last week when we did this with It's a Wonderful Life, that the words to Auld Lang Syne are Scottish Gaelic, for old time's sake, right? Should old acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind? Should old acquaintance be forgot and days of Auld Lang Syne? For Auld Lang Syne, my dear, for Auld Lang Syne, we'll take a cup of kindness yet for silk of Auld Lang Syne, and surely you will buy your cup, and surely I'll buy mine. We'll take a cup of kindness yet for the sake of Auld Lang Syne. We too have paddled in the stream from morning sun till night. The seas between us, Lord, and swell since days of Auld Lang Syne. For should old acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind? Should old acquaintance be forgot and days of Auld Lang Syne? For Auld Lang Syne, my dear, for Auld Lang Syne, we'll drink a cup of kindness yet for sake of Auld Lang Syne.
Thank you. That's beautiful. Thank you.
Bet you didn't know it had all those verses, did ya?
So it's time for our offering, time to put that law of divine circulation in process. I do want to mention again that the practitioners that have their stoles on, this is time if you need a little uplifting quickie prayer, just go to any one of them that has a stole on and let them do their work for you. They do work magic. I can promise you that, okay? So won't you join me in our offering affirmation on the left-hand side of our bulletin. My gift goes forth to heal, prosper, and bless all that it touches. It is evidence of my conviction that God is the source and substance of my supply. I share generously of my good, knowing that it returns to me multiplied abundantly, and so it is.
Clap your hands in joy. Celebrate this day. Clap your hands in joy. Celebrate this day. This day, this day. Celebrate this day, this day, this day. Celebrate this day. Make a joyful noise. Celebrate this day. Make a joyful noise. Celebrate this day. This day, this day. Celebrate this day. This day, this day. Celebrate this day. Clap your hands in joy. Celebrate this day. Clap your hands in joy. Celebrate this day. This day, this day. Celebrate this day. This day, this day. Celebrate this day.
Thank you. That's sweet. That's a little tribute to Eric Hansen, who was our former music director that we loved. We loved almost as much as we love Heather. I would say that would be a toss-up because you're so beautiful. But thank you for doing that. I appreciate it. So let's close this portion out in prayer, and then please join us for refreshments. And just as you get your fake champagne, just reach around to somebody and toast them. Just bless them for the new year. Okay. So I know right now that there is one power and presence. We call it God, but it's known by many names. And we know the attributes of this power and presence are love, beauty, joy, harmony, peace, abundance. And being made in the image and likeness of this divine intelligence, these are our attributes as well. So as we go forward in the new year, let's, in our hearts, bless each person that crosses our path. Let's take a moment to simply give thanks for the blessings that are all around us. And let's say a prayer for those who are less fortunate than we are. And I do speak my word for all of those who are less fortunate, all of those who are in some kind of pain, experiencing some kind of disease, those in war-torn areas. To know that right now the power and presence of God is rectifying those situations into the perfect harmony that is the truth of all life. I give thanks to be part of this beautiful center and to know that right here is my family. And today not only my spiritual family, but my physical family. So I just release all of these words into that law of mind to do its work as we say together, and so it is. Okay, so let's stand and form a circle, sing stand, and
so let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be joy. I am a stand for joy. We are living a new world now. So let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be joy. I am a stand for joy. We are living a new world now. We are living a new world now. Happy New Year. Right here, right now, I'm gonna make a brand new start. Right here, right now, gonna make a change in my heart. Everything I need, I now receive, and it's done unto me as I believe. Right here, right now.